So I'm going to do 28 minutes now on wealth and social responsibility. That's quite a heavy subject to go straight into. So I'm going to do a quick, light-hearted, 45-second anecdote, first of all, to soften up the ground, and hopefully you won't see the gears change too obviously as we move into the main routine. So I was on tour, and I was in... I was in Sheffield, and I was walking along the main street in Sheffield, Fargate, and I saw two guys holding up big cardboard placards, and one of them said, "Would you like to download thousands of films now from Sky?" And the other one said, "Would you like to learn the truth about Islam?" And I thought, oh, decisions. But we were all asked to make a decision in the last election, weren't we? That's how you do segues between material. Any young comics watching at home? So, we were asked to make a choice, weren't we, between voting out of self-interest, broadly speaking, and out of the interests of others. And we know what happened on a national level, and now I sort of worry that I see evidence of people's selfishness everywhere. I was walking along the canal in Camden and walked past that Dingwalls there, and there was a load of drunk lads on the canal towpath laughing and cheering as they watched 5 seagulls peck a fluffy baby duckling to death. And then I realised why Mock the Week is so popular. Wow, where did they get this crowd from? Normally my audience would go, ha ha, imagine liking Mock the Week. But BBC Ticket Unit, sort of people go, oh, I like comedy, I'll go and see that. It's going to be a tough night, isn't it? Got to be careful having a go at the panel shows now, though. I don't want Lee Mack writing in his next book that I'm an intellectual snob again, like I inferred he did in the last one. Unless, of course, I choose to appear as an intellectual snob on purpose in order to create a secondary, character-driven narrative that runs both in tandem with and in dramatic opposition to the surface-level stand-up. I want you to laugh in spite of me, not because of me. It's an example of the theatrical practice known as Brechtian alienation. It is. It's an incredibly high-risk performance strategy that very few people seem to appreciate. No one is equipped to review me. Least of all the Daily Telegraph, which is... I got a no-star review in the Daily Telegraph. I did. The bloke said... Normally they give you 1 for turning up. The bloke said that I have contempt for the public, and if I understood anything about the sacrifices people make to come and see things, I would spare them my toxic scorn. And I do understand all that, and I just did it for a laugh, really. Which is within the remit of this job, isn't it? If you think about it for a second. So, but it's awkward getting bad reviews in the Daily Telegraph because that is the paper that all the middle-class dads at my kids' school read. So they read these awful things about how terrible I am, and then they're embarrassed to meet my eye in the school playground, as if they've imagined me doing some incredibly intimate thing with their middle-class wives that they would never do with them, like talk to them in the evenings. And yes, you did hear me say middle-class dads there. I now move in exclusively middle-class dad circles because the money that you have given me by coming to see me in incrementally larger amounts over the last 26 years has finally moved me into a social milieu where I do not belong and am not welcome. So thanks for that. Thanks.
Now, one of the things that comes across in this series is that you are obsessed with money, as usual in a sort of slightly perverse, inverted kind of way. What are you really saying? Are you saying that having money is worse than not having money?
Yeah, I think the difficult position I've been put in is to be allowed to be about as successful as it's possible to be as a sort of obscure figure. But really what I do is not of enough quality or interest to tip over into having a subterranean garage full of Aston Martins. You know, it's sort of a weird...
But that's where you feel that you're sort of bound to go.
Yeah, but it's something I'm clearly not capable of doing. I mean, each series is like a suicide note, or someone that's carried out a crime and is leaving written in blood on the wall, "Stop me before I do this again." And yet they seem to keep coming back and driving me further and further towards this position of utter dislocation. Okay, I'm a reader, right? I used to wait till books were second-hand or discounted, but I don't have to now. For example, when a new Lee Mack book is published, I buy it on the day it comes out from Tesco's for $16.99. I don't even wait until the next day when it will be 50p at the works. Or even less, as part of a 3 stickered items for £1 offer, along with some wool and a 2008 Graham Norton calendar. Bloke with glasses up there is not laughing at all on the table. You see him with a beard, he's sort of going, oh. He's going, oh, he's having a go at Graham Norton now. Right, I'm not having a go at Graham Norton, OK? I'm just saying that an out-of-date Graham Norton calendar is like something that would be in the works. Is it? Yes, it is. It's not having a go at... I like Graham Norton, OK? I'm gonna come off book to put you at ease, all right? I have a thing with Graham Norton where you probably have this with a band or a football team or something. Whenever he does well, I feel like it's my success. Do you get that? So if it goes, Graham Norton has a £1 million publishing deal, I go, yeah! And the reason for this, right, is because in 1992, I was in the same venue as Graham Norton for a month in the Fringe in Edinburgh. It was a 40-seater attic at the Pleasance Theatre, and I was on at 9:45 in the morning, and he was on at 11 or something, and I used to see him in the... It was 11, he had a one-man show about the Carpenters, if you must know. And I used to see him in the... He did. Do you find it amusing that someone who's now famous once had to struggle? Well, that's how it works. But I used to see him in the handover, and he was always very nice. So to this day, when I see that he's done really well, like if it goes, you know, Graham Norton is the highest paid man on TV or something, I go, yeah! Attic lads. Do you know what I mean? I have a similar thing with Napalm Death. You know them? Grindcore pioneers, Napalm Death. Because I was actually at school with Napalm Death. And I used to go orienteering with Napalm Death. I did. That's not a new BBC 4 programme. I used to go orienteering with the original lineup of Napalm Death every other weekend all round the Wrekin in Shropshire. But it wasn't square, middle-class, watching BBC 2 orienteering like you would do. It was second-wave anarcho-punk orienteering. We had maps, but all the boundaries were crossed out. You'd think there'd be more on that, wouldn't you? It's a good joke. It's one of the 3 best jokes in this half hour, that. So, I'll tell you what, when the other good ones come up, I'll give you a little signal. But to this day, I mean, there's not even any of them in Napalm Death anymore from them, but I'll be on the internet, you know, and I'll see that the Napalm Death are in Brazil or something, headlining Cunt Fest 15 or whatever. I go, yeah, orienteering. And I have a similar thing with Graham Norton. I go, well, it's interesting, because earlier this year, I don't know, last year, when it was the BAFTAs, do you know what that is? The British Academy of Film and Television. Like the TV Oscars, basically. Anyway, Graham Norton's chat show that he does, that actually beats this series for the best TV comedy BAFTA, so... No, I don't mind. I just thought it was a bit sort of strange, isn't it? Do you not think? I don't know. Just strange, uneasy crowd, aren't you, tonight? Very. Okay, I'm not saying I'm a better comedian than Graham Norton. Okay, I'm not. If that's what you're thinking, I'm. Okay, I didn't go. I didn't go to the BAFTAs and boo. If that's what you. I never go. I wasn't even. I don't never go to those awards anyway because I'm not. It's not even. It doesn't even get as far as because I'm not like a telly personality. No, I'm a live act really. So I'm working like 320 odd nights a year. So if they suddenly go, can you come to the BAFTAs? I can't go anyway. So I don't even. I can't. So with the last BAFTAs, I don't even know where I was when it was on. To be honest. Salford, I think. I'll tell you, it was Salford Quays. I'll tell you why I know, right? No, I'm not interested genuinely in the BAFTAs. But I remember at Salford Quays because I did the gig at the Lowry and then I went back to the Premier Inn, and I was. Premier Inn's funnier than a clever joke about orienteering. No, I'm just saying. It's interesting that you. No, it's just interesting that you don't laugh at a clever joke about orienteering, but you have a kind of snobbish reaction to a discount fucking. It's gone wrong. It's got. Do you remember in the old days there weren't loads of horrible snobs, were there, in the audience? But the sort of people this attracts now, it's what I read on the internet. They go, on the internet, the other comics say that all the people that like me are cunts, right? And they are, aren't they? You listen to that. They're the sort of people. They didn't used to be, but they are now. They're the sort of people go, oh, imagine staying in the Travelodge or the Premier Inn. Oh. And yet they don't know what orienteering is, so they're sort of snobs, but they're ignorant and stupid as well. The Premier Inn is fine, to be honest, and I think it's. I mean, if you're in Salford Quays, you're basically either in the Premier Inn, which is fine, or you have to go in the Holiday Inn, which is a bit sort of. That's the price difference is not always. It's still sniggering away. Okay, why do you think it costs 20 quid less to see me than Kevin Bridges and all these sorts of people? Because I pass the savings on to the consumer. That is why, and I just get this sort of contempt from the public. Anyway, I went back to the Premier Inn and I got in my pants. I'd made a cup of tea and I thought I'll put the telly on. And it was that thing where, it's like when it comes on 2 hours later on +2 or whatever, and the BAFTAs was on, right? And I thought, well, I'm going to watch because I don't care about what happens, but I was curious. So I watched it and the bloke goes, and the winner is Best TV Comedy is Graham Norton. And I just went, oh, is it? Then I went to bed. I went straight to sleep. Because I don't care at all, I'm not, I don't mind, and I'm vision well, and I'm not saying, he's. Have you seen his show though? Really? No, it's good, he's very good in it, but it's a chat show, isn't it? It's a chat show. People come in and he goes hello, and they go hello, Graham, and he goes, oh, you're in a film now, aren't you? Yes. Is it a good film? Yeah, it's brilliant. Then some more ones come in, don't they? And they all talk. Then at the end, one of the audience, they go in a chair, don't they? And they sort of fall out of it. That's better, apparently, than... No, good, he's very good. He is, he's good. As, people come in and he goes, hello, and they go, hello, Graham. And he goes, oh, you look brown, you've been on holiday. Yes. Was it hot? Yes, Graham. Too hot by the looks of it. It was too hot, yes. Bet you're glad to be back here, aren't you? Yes. You do that in your house, don't you? People come round. You go, hello, how are you? Are you all right? Yes. How's Robin? Is he all right? Yes. He's got a bad leg, has he? Is he in work? No, he's... You know, you're not sitting there going, where's my BAFTA, are you? Just... I don't care. I don't mind. I just can't really make any... It's BAFTA, isn't it? It's like... The proper... You know what BAFTA is? It's a British Academy of Film and Television. It's got a big office down on Piccadilly, you know. It's not like TV Quick or something like this. It just surprises me that they don't seem to have any sort of logical system in place for the... You don't... OK, fine, I don't care. I don't care what you think, right? Have you seen this show that you're at? I write this. It takes me about 2 years to write these. This is all written, what I'm saying now. And it's not just talking, the shows. They're very carefully structured, and I mean, you're watching this now, you're thinking, what's this? It's nothing. It isn't. It all ties together at the end. You won't realise till... You may never realise. You know, but... I'll tell you what, I don't care about it. I just don't know what kind of message it sends out to young people, because they're the future, aren't they? The kids, you know. And it's like saying to them, oh, don't work really hard on something for years trying to make it really good, like a fucking mug. Just talk to Gary Barlow about nothing. Anyway, I don't care. I don't mind. I was watching the BAFTAs again, actually, the other week, because I don't sit at home watching it over and over again. Oh, what's... No, what it is, right, I looked at it on YouTube, the awards, because something occurred to me I hadn't thought about it for about a year. I suddenly thought, I must check that. And, OK, what it is, right, is, do you think Graham Norton has seen this show, right? What do you think? No, well, he has, definitely, because he's a member of BAFTA, and they get sent all the things to watch them, right, that are not... So he's seen this show. This is the interesting thing if you watch the awards, right? You can see it on YouTube. It goes... And he's sitting there, and the bloke goes, and the winner of Best TV Comedy is Graham Norton, right? He's seen my show, remember? He gets up, right? He goes up to where all the awards are, and he accepts the BAFTA. He's seen my show, remember? He accepts the BAFTA as if he genuinely thinks he deserves it. I know, and you know what, right? Fair play to him. I mean, the fucking front of the bloke. He, you know, the balls of him, he fronts it out. Like, and of course, in his mind, he must be going, oh, God, what's going on? This is insane. Then he makes a little speech. He kind of prepared it, you know, as if it's like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. It's absolutely... It is the most amazing piece of film you'll ever see. It's much more amazing. And then he walks back down through all the TV people, all clapping away, about 300 of them. And, well, you know, no one tries to stop him. They don't. No, they don't. You know, if you see a crime being committed, normally, you get on the... No, James Corden's there. Do you know him, James Corden? You know, I don't know James Corden personally, right, but he's always going on in interviews about how brilliant he thinks I am, right? And the feeling is not reciprocated. Britain's loss is America's loss also. He's there clapping away, James Corden. Honestly, if you Google James Corden and my name, you find all these interviews, you know, there's people going to him, what's your favourite thing? And he goes, oh, Stewart Lee's brilliant, you know, trying to make out he's clever. Imagine James Corden watching me. Like a dog listening to classical music. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Lie. PR bullshit. He's there clapping away, and Graham Norton walks right by. He doesn't do anything, James Corden. He's a big bloke, isn't he? He could have jumped up, got Graham Norton, got him on the floor, gone, what are you doing? You can't have that. Anyway, I don't care. I don't care, right? I'm just saying there's... there are practical considerations for this, right? I am 47. I've had 2 kids, a bit too late in life, to be honest, and I've got a... Well, yeah, I've got a mortgage as of last year. I appreciate I'm very lucky to be able to get a mortgage, but the fact is I've worked out to shift that debt, to sort those kids out, I'm going to have to carry on working, not necessarily on TV, not necessarily to big crowds of people, but certainly, 5, 6 nights a week into my mid-70s, and BAFTA might just have helped to... Graham Norton. Why would he want children to suffer?
You do set up this premise that Graham Norton wins the comedy award when you should have won it. What you leave out is it was the comedy and entertainment award. And if you say that, then Graham Norton's winning of it seems much more reasonable.
Is it for comedy and entertainment? Is that what the category was?
What, you've only just found that out?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, I wouldn't have been written
when you wrote the whole...
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have written it if I'd known that, because I wouldn't have been able to say it.
Don't make it like it's my fault.
No, but
I wouldn't have written it if I
obviously
hadn't known that. I didn't withhold the information from you.
Look,
it was there on the programme.
Well, I didn't. If it's for entertainment, then I think it's fine that he won it, because he's undeniably entertaining.
So you've just basically now overturned that
Well,
whole
I didn't know.
bit.
I thought it was for comedy. Comedy to me is like, it's a big subject. It's an art form. But if it's just for entertainment, then fine. This isn't entertainment. No one would think that. No one's sitting at home watching this going, how entertaining. No one gets to the end of it and goes, well, I've been royally entertained by that, do they? But they can't deny that it's comedy, and the reason why it's comedy is because it has
no entertainment value.
This is the problem I have now that I enjoy a degree of security. What is my social responsibility to others, to the world? For example, prostitutes work in the alley behind where I live, and like a lot of stand-up comedians, I don't really mind prostitutes, like a lot of stand-up comedians. I don't. I both relate to and sympathise with prostitutes, because I know what it's like to provide people with a service they crave and yet to be despised for it. At least prostitutes don't have people writing in to tell them how they could have done it better. You should be more racist, mate. But, the only problem with the prostitutes is they throw their used condoms full of sperm into the garden, and when we moved in, I told the kids that fairies lived at the bottom of the garden. And my 2-year-old saw a used condom hanging on the tree, and she said to me, "Oh, what's that?" And I went, "It's a fairy's rain hat." And she said, "Oh, then why is it full of sperm?" Kids say the funniest things, don't they? Kids say the funniest things. You like that, do you? Kids say the funniest things. My God. I stand before them, a 47-year-old man, hundreds of thousands of pounds in debt, doing shit, hack, kids say the funniest things stuff to try and pay it off. You used to come and see me in the 90s when I was good. Anyone remember? I wouldn't have done kids say the funniest things stuff then, would I? I can't afford to reject monetisable content merely because it's of no artistic value. Sometimes I wonder who's the real prostitute. Sometimes I think I should invite those prostitutes in to live with me. That's what Jesus would have done. But only if there was the chance of an aromatic foot bath. Should be more for that, really. I'm all for a secular society, but let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. To know those old stories. We were all out in the garden, the whole family, and we saw a fox trying to eat one of the used condoms, and I know he was having a terrible time of it, the fox. He looked like a man with badly fitted dentures, ill-advisedly dining on oysters. Two-speed room. I told my 6-year-old that the fox was eating fox chewing gum. And he said, "Oh, why do the prostitutes throw fox chewing gum into the garden? Covered in sperm." He didn't say that, did he? I made it up for money. But talking about prostitutes, I don't want to look like these Mock the Weak comics making fun of people worse off than me, but as a politically correct liberal, I don't know if I'm supposed to regard sex workers as victims of exploitation or as empowered women making positive lifestyle choices. And that's why when I get home late at night and the prostitutes approach you around the garages after gigs, I always offer them £5 for a swift rundown on the various ideological issues affecting the subject and a quick chat about how it impacts on the wider world of women's personal and political freedoms generally, which is something I can get at home for free. What's wrong with me? I'm sick. It's the lure of the forbidden. One of them said to me, "Where have you been tonight?" I said, "I've been doing a telly thing, talking about how kids say the funniest things." She said, "You shouldn't have to do that. Here's 20 quid.
If you'd bothered to finish this show properly, how would it have ended?
The show is never finished. It's documented and then you have to move on. Somewhere, the show's still sort of playing out. Every time it's watched by people, they respond differently to it.
Is that what you say? If you hand in something that's under length, say, to the BBC, do you say, "Oh, don't worry, it's somewhere it's still playing out"?
Yeah, like a sound travelling out into space forever.
And what do they say to you?
They go, "Can you make it 28 minutes long, please?"
Next on BBC4, Orienteering with Napalm Death.